Hi, welcome to the Property Gurus. If you haven't already subscribed to us, please do so by clicking on the button on the bottom right hand corner of this screen. This video is the first in a series of videos aimed at helping you deal with builders. Builders are absolutely critical to the success of your project. If you find the right builder and give them the right information so that they know exactly what it is that you want to achieve, then you'll be able to have a stress-free build that comes in on time and on budget. And that's what we're all looking for. No stress, no hassle, and no additional extras. Sounds easy. Well, it should be, and it could be if you find the right builder, but that is the absolute $64 million question. How do you go about finding the right builder for your job? Well, things have changed in the last 10 years. If you think about the way we purchase things, the first thing that all of us think of these days when we're thinking about buying anything is the internet. If you want to buy something, you will automatically go on to Google, find that product, do some research, find out what the best product is for you, find out what the best price is, and then you'll go about making your purchase decision. Dealing with builders should be exactly the same process. And because of the development of a variety of websites, it is possible to do that. And that's what we would recommend you do as your starting point for finding the right builder. So how do you go about doing it? Well, the first thing you need to do is work out exactly what your job is. So whether that be a house extension, loft conversion, full renovation, whatever it might be, taking out a wall, all sorts of options. But work out exactly what it is that you're looking for. Once you've done that, do your research and put some detail into that brief. So start writing a brief. So let's take an example of a loft conversion. You've decided you want to convert your loft. So you need to know exactly how big you want the loft conversion to be. So whether it's going to be one giant bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, or whether you're having two bedrooms, or if you're going to have a separate bathroom with two bedrooms. So there's lots of different options, but work out the detail of what it is that you're looking for. Once you've done that, then you need to start scoping out the brief in terms of specification. So work out whether you want carpet or wooden floors, whether you want the walls plastered and painted or wallpapered, what you want in your ensuite bathroom, whether you want just a shower and a sink and a toilet, or whether you want a bath and a separate shower, whether you want a bidet, whether you want fancy radiators, whether you want built-in storage, built-in cupboards, built-in wardrobes, how many windows you want, whether you want roof lights like Velux windows, whether you want balcony on that loft conversion. So lots and lots of detail that you can go into. How many plug sockets you want, how you want your lighting to look, whether you want a central light fitting, down lights, whether you want the lights to be able to switch on and off at separate locations. Lots and lots of things for you to think about your perfect build. Put them all down in your brief, put your brief together so that you've got it before you start this process. That is going to get you the best possible outcome. So once you've done that, once you know exactly what it is that you want to build and all the specification, how do you go about finding the right builder for you? Well, there are lots of brilliant websites that will do a lot of work for you at this stage. So here in the UK, we've got a lot of different options, but if I just give a couple of examples. So the two biggest at the moment are Rated People and My Builder. There are multiple other options. So if you type into Google, I need a builder, or I am looking for a builder, all of these websites will promote themselves and will come up on your search. So let's take the example of Rated People. The way these websites work, you go on, you decide what it is you're looking for. So in this example, we're talking about here a loft conversion. So you type in loft conversion. It will then ask you for where your location is. So you obviously have to put in your address. It's not publicly distributed, but they need to know where the postcode is. And then you put in the brief of the job itself. So all of that detail we just talked about, you can put it into the job description. So what that means is anybody who's looking at your advert will know, firstly, where your house is located, and secondly, exactly how much work is involved in the job that you're looking for. Now, why is that of benefit to you? Well, there are a number of reasons why this is a fantastic development. Firstly, one of the problems that you have with builders is you may have a builder that's recommended to you, but he might not be available for the next 12 months. Quite often, a good builder is very busy and books his diary ahead and may not have any availability to do your job. There is no point speaking to that builder. It is absolutely a waste of time for you and for him to talk about your job if he can't do it for a year and you need that job doing in the next month or two. It is a waste of time. So, by advertising on these websites, the only builders who will respond to you are builders who are available now, who are available to do your job. And the first thing that you need to sort out is finding a builder who's available, because that's what you need, somebody with availability. So it gets you over that first hurdle, saves you wasting time talking to builders who can't do your job in the foreseeable future. So in addition to availability, one of the other key issues is location. So quite often you might have a builder that's recommended to you by a friend or family member, and you talk to them, you spend some time going through the details of your property, and then they say, actually, it's a bit too far away. It's slightly further than we like to travel. And if you look at how building firms operate, the owners of the firms are generally the people who are making all the profit. They're making good money. The guys who are doing your work, so the tradesmen, the carpenters and the builders and the bricklayers and the plumbers and electricians, those guys are not paid a fortune. They're paid a decent wage, but they're not paid enough money to be travelling for 2 hours each way in cars and vans to get to your property. So even though the building firm may have been recommended to you, and even though they could do a great job, if your house is too far away for them to travel to, either they're going to tell you that they can't do it, or they're going to take on your job, but they may have issues getting staff to you. So it might be that people don't turn up, or they want to do the local job, or if they do turn up, when they need more materials, then they're having to wait a long time for them to be delivered, or if they need to go and collect things, it's not local to you. So you need a firm that's happy with the location of your house. So these websites enable you to find a building firm who's happy with your location, because they know before they give you a quote, before they give you any information, they know where your house is. So they're automatically agreeing to the location of your property. So really useful to get both the availability and the location agreed up front. The other issues are capability. So the builder needs to be capable of doing your job. So if you're advertising for a loft conversion, as we were talking about earlier, then you want somebody who's got a track record of doing loft conversions. A builder may say, oh, yes, I can do a loft conversion. I understand how to do one. But if he hasn't done one before, you do not want to sign that guy as your builder. You don't want to be the guinea pig that he uses to try and learn how to do the work that you're employing him to do. You want an expert, somebody who's got lots of experience doing the exact job that you are employing them to do. So they come back to you and say, yes, I'm interested. I like the look of your job. I'd like to do it. The big benefit you've got from these websites, the massive piece of information that will help you, is all of the tradesmen have to be registered, and all of their work is reviewed by people who've employed them. So when you get a contact from a builder through these websites, they automatically have reviews and track record on that website. So you can see instantly how many jobs they've been employed to do and what those jobs were. So if a building firm is saying, yes, we would like to do your job, we want to do your loft conversion, and you look through their track record and their review history, and it's all relating to just small repairs or fixing a wall or installing a new front door or fixing a leaking pipe or something minor of that nature, then you know that those guys have not been doing loft conversions through that website. And therefore, that's telling you that they're probably not the right people for your job. So you can do some research without having to trail through the internet and find all sorts of information. It's all at hand. It's all there, readily available for you. And you can see the reviews that previous customers have given and the star ratings. So you'll be able to see instantly whether you think those guys are the right people for you to be employing for your job. So you've got a number of different issues covered off by these websites. You've got the availability, the location, the capability, and then the reviews to back up their claims that they are good at what you want them to do. So you've got a whole host of different information already before you've even made any contact with these people. One thing you need to make sure you put into your brief at the end of all of the details, when you've listed out all the information that you can think about for your particular build, is always ask them for an indicative quote. Always ask them to give you an indication of the price that they think it will cost to do that job. Now, builders do not want to give you that information. They don't want to give you an indicative price. They will come back and always say, well, it depends on the location of the job and access, and we'll have to have a look at this and that. And they'll come up with all sorts of excuses to come to your house so that they can start engaging with you and trying to win your business. Not all of them, but some of them will give you a quote. And that is really valuable and useful information because, firstly, you get an indication of what sort of price it's going to cost you. So you may have an idea of what your budget is and a thought of what your maximum amount you want to pay. You don't want to reveal that to a builder. You don't want to tell him that your budget is X, because generally speaking, that's what their quote will come in at, or probably a little bit higher than X. So you don't want to give that away without seeing what their quote is. So some builders are happy to give you an indicative quote, and they will probably caveat it by saying, but this assumes X, Y, Z. And that's absolutely fair, I think, because they are making an estimate based on assumptions that may or may not be correct. But it gives you a really good feel for where those builders are coming in. So if you post a job and you get a number of different responses, and so going back to the websites in the UK, mybuilder.com is a website that enables multiple builders to pitch for your job. So if you post your advert, you may get back 10 or 15 responses from different builders. Now, of those 15 responses, if 5 of those builders are happy to give you an indicative price, then you'll be able to start seeing how much it might cost. And you will be amazed at the difference between two sets of builders. There is no fixed price for the job that you're doing. It's all based on a variety of different factors. How hungry that builder is for the work, how much profit he needs to make on the job, how much he's paying his people, how easily he thinks he'll be able to do it, how quickly he thinks he'll be able to do the work. So there's a lot of different factors that make up the pricing for a building job. And sometimes we're the Property Gurus, we've used this system multiple occasions, and we've seen quotes in some instances that are double other quotes. So you may get one quote that's at X and the next quote's at 2X, and just unbelievable. And what you don't want to do is get into detailed discussions and talks with somebody who's trying to rip you off, who's trying to charge you a fortune for a job that you could get done for a lot less money. So ask for a quote. Not all the builders will give that to you. And it doesn't mean that you should discount the builders who don't, because it might be that you like the profile and you like the reviews and the feedback on a couple of the builders who don't give you a quote. So you should still consider using them. But asking for a quote firstly gives you an indication of what prices people are thinking about. And secondly, it gives you a flavour of what it's like to deal with those builders. So quite often, a builder who's happy to give you a quote up front will be more open. He's happy to talk about what it's going to cost him, how quickly he's going to do the job. And we've used builders before that have given us a quote up front. And we've gone through the process, which we'll come on to in a minute. We've gone through the process with them, and ultimately they were the best choice. So always ask for that quote. It doesn't, not everybody will give you one, but always ask for it. Okay, so you've done your initial brief, you've pitched it onto the website, you've got some responses from builders. So what do you do next? Well, as we've just discussed, go through the feedback, go through the reviews, make sure the people that you're considering have relevant experience, that they've got good feedback from previous clients. The next stage is to select a short list of builders. So on My Builder, it's a short list of 5, a maximum of 5. On Rated People, it's 3 at the moment. On lots of other websites, it varies. So have a look at all these different websites. And you can post your job on more than one of these sites. There is no law or anything restricting you from posting it on multiple sites. So you could post it, in this example, on Rated People and My Builder and other ones if you wanted to. And that will just give you a big pool of builders who are interested in bidding on your job. So once you've gone through that process, you've decided who you'd like to shortlist, then you will be in contact with that builder. So once you engage with them, and it might be through email or it might be through phone, the next thing for you to do is get a feel for what you think it's like to deal with those people. So have the initial discussion, talk about what you want to do, talk about your ideas and what you're looking to achieve, and you'll get a feel for that guy you're talking to, whether you think it's the right sort of approach from your perspective. Once you've done that, the next stage is to ask them if you can speak to some of their previous clients and also inspect one or two of their jobs. So that's really important, because the feedback you've seen on the website, you've been through that, that's great. But then you want to talk to people who've lived through it in a bit more detail. So if you get a phone number for somebody who's had exactly the same sort of job you've had, you'll have the benefit of being able to have a chat with them, and generally through the course of those discussions, they will tell you some really useful information. So they may say, oh, the guys were great, they did a great job. Oh, but there were a few issues, and they'll tell you some of the problems. And then more importantly, they should tell you how the problems were resolved and what happened, and also what's happened since the job was finished. Because there's always snagging, there's always issues, but you need to get comfortable that the builder cares and is interested in coming back to fix those issues for you. So have a chat with a couple of previous clients, and then you can go and visit their property and see the actual workmanship, and you'll get a really good feel when you go and see it for whether or not that's the sort of finish that you're looking for. Is it as high end as what you're looking for? Is it higher? You may get some ideas from looking at that property. You might see some lighting or some built-in cupboards or something that you like the feel for. So it's always useful to go and have a look at it. You also want to ask the builder if you can go and have a look at one of his current jobs. So have a look at something they're in the middle of doing right now. And the reason for that is when you get there, firstly, you'll be able to see how they operate, whether it's tidy and neat and efficient and the way you would like it to look in your house, or whether it's a complete mess with tools everywhere and dust and debris and rubbish piled up outside the front door. You'll get a feel for whether it's how you want those guys to operate in your house. And then also, in addition to seeing how it looks and how it's being managed, you'll be able to talk to the workmen themselves, to the tradesmen. And that's really important, because the tradesmen are the guys who are going to be in your house for 8 hours per day, 5 days a week or more. And so you need to be happy that you're comfortable with these people, that they operate not in a polite manner, that they're tidy, they're clean, and they are the sort of people that you're happy to have around your family and children and pets and anything else that's in your house. So you'll get a feel for whether you like the look of those workmen. It's all good and well speaking to the salesman and the guy who runs the firm, but if he's not on site, you need to know who is going to be on site and what they're like to deal with. So it's really useful to go and look at a current site. So once you've done that, you've done your due diligence, you've looked at the old work, you looked at the current work, the builder will come to your house, he's going to have a look at it, and then you're going to get multiple quotes. So this is absolutely key to the success in choosing the right builder. You need to make sure you get a minimum of 3 quotes, but we here at the Property Gurus would always get 5 or 6 quotes. Now that sounds like a lot of quotes, but it's a big project for you. It's a lot of expenditure. You need to make sure that it's the right people for you. And builders, that's their game. They pitch for deals and they might win 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 or maybe 1 in 20. They're not expecting to win every single quote that they give out. And in fact, most builders wouldn't be able to deliver on every quote that they give out because they pitch for a lot more business than they can manage. So it's normal for them to come, to spend some time with you, to give you a detailed quote, and for you not to select them. So don't feel guilty. Don't feel nervous about asking builders for quotes. That's the way the system works. So get multiple quotes. It's the one time that you've got the opportunity to shop around, because once you've selected your builder, it's too late. You're in bed with that builder and they're doing your work. So shop around, get 6, 7, 8 different quotes. Have a look at them in detail. And once you get those quotes, compare them against your original brief. Make sure everything is in there. Make sure there's not additional extras that you haven't spotted, that they've excluded some of the things you wanted. Make sure it's all in there. And then start negotiating. So start speaking to the people that you like the most. There might be 2 or 3 that you really like, and say, okay, I really like you guys. I think you're great, but you need to cut. You need to take 10% off this price. Or is there a way I can get this price down? Maybe by if I supply some of the materials, and that's something in other videos that we'll talk about. But we would always recommend you buying as many of the materials as possible. And we don't mean building materials. We mean things like doors and handles and flooring and taps, all the things that you touch and that you're interested in. You'll probably be able to get a better price and pick something you want than if you leave it to the builder. Then generally they'll give you something that you're not quite happy with. So negotiate with them once you've got that final quote through. And then once you've decided who the best builder is, what the best quote is, that everything's included, then you've found the right builder for your job. And as we said at the start, and as we're going to say a number of times in other videos, it's really, really important to select the right builder that is going to take your project through from start to finish in as quick a time as possible with minimum of fuss. So hopefully that's given you some thought and some indication as to what you should be doing and what you can do now. You can do these postings now. You don't have to actually be ready to do your work. If you're thinking about doing a loft conversion in 3 to 6 months' time, you can post your job today. You can put it on there, get some quotes through, start getting a feel for how the system works, what it looks like. But the absolute message we want to leave you with is the internet is a very, very powerful tool. There is a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people providing feedback and giving reviews. You need to use all of that to your advantage to select the right builder for your project. So hopefully this has been helpful. We've been the Property Gurus. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, and we will see you again soon. Thank you.